Hi, my name's Charles Elliott. I'm a lawyer here in Alexandria, Louisiana. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Constitution of the United States. We hear these cases go to the Supreme Court and everybody talks about the constitutionality, but what does that really mean? And so this is really going to be more of a Schoolhouse Rocks level review of the Constitution. So the surprising thing that most people don't know is that this is the whole United States Constitution with amendments. That's it. It's very simple. You can get a different version of it, which also has the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. It's not much bigger. The Constitution is organized in a very simplistic way, and the branches of government that you hear about in civics class are all spelled out here in very simple terms. So we're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about the Article 1 of the Constitution, which is where the Congress powers come from. If you got your Constitution, you can take it out and read along with us. If you don't have one, if I get enough people that are interested, I'm happy to order a batch of them and send them out to you. But it starts very simplistically. Article 1, Section 1 of the United States Constitution says, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in the Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. That's pretty simple. That's what we've come to know as our form of government. The representatives are distributed. We talked about this a little bit last time when we were talking about the Electoral College. The representatives are distributed depending on the population of the states. And currently, Louisiana has 6 congressmen. We have 5 Republicans, 1 Democrat. Currently, though, Louisiana is in a good position in the Congress because we have Mike Johnson from Shreveport, who's the Speaker of the House. So he controls the scheduling of everything that happens in the House of Representatives. He hasn't been there very long, and he might not be there very long, but currently that's good for Louisiana. We also have Clay Higgins, Steve Scalise, who is currently the Majority Leader. Again, he's in a position of authority to do things to help Louisiana. Garrett Graves, Julia Letlow, who's going to be, I guess, in her second term, and Troy Carter, who's the lone Democrat currently. Recently, Louisiana has had some issues with the way the congressional districts are drawn, and given the fact that Louisiana is about 1/3 African American, and currently there's only 1 African American congressman, there was a push to redistrict Louisiana and change the lines for the 6 districts. I'm still trying to understand exactly where the lines are, but looking at it, it looks like in Rapides Parish, for example, where I live, they've drawn the line so that north of the river, the Pineville side of the river, is in Congressional District 6, and the people in Alexandria are in Congressional District 5. And so even though we live within a stone's distance from each other, we're in different congressional districts in an attempt to fairly allocate the districts based on the population. So every 10 years there's a census. Every 10 years we go back and reevaluate, determine which districts there are. And after this last census, the recommendation of the Louisiana legislature and currently approved by the federal court is going to put in Rapides Parish half of the parish in District 5 and half in 6. So we'll just have to see how that goes. And one thing I learned when they were redrawing these districts is that you don't have to actually live in the district that you run in. And even then, the district that I'm in Pineville, goes all the way from North Louisiana down to Baton Rouge. You're going to have a very varied type of voter, and it's going to be difficult physically for the representatives to come home and visit and listen to the constituents, but that's currently what we have. Again, Section 1, Article 1, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. So we just finished talking about the House of Representatives. Now let's talk about the Senate. Each state gets 2 senators. So this is in Section 3 of the very first article of the Constitution. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, originally chosen by the legislature to vote for a term of 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. There was an amendment to the Constitution later on that changed the way we elect senators. Originally, it was thought that the legislatures of the state would have appropriate representation for choosing who the senators are going to be, but they changed that, and we can get to that later. So our 2 senators currently are John Kennedy, who you've probably seen drag people over the coals about their qualifications for federal judgeships, and Bill Cassidy is our other senator. Every 2 years, the House of Representatives people come up for a vote, and that's going to be this fall. So this fall, with the redrawn districts, Mike Johnson, Clay Higgins, Troy Carter, Steve Scalise, Garrett Graves, and Julia Letlow are all up for election or re-election. I guess you'd say election in their new district. And then every 6 years, and I can't exactly tell you when that is, John Kennedy and Bill Cassidy will be up for re-election. I would encourage you to get out your Constitution, read it. There's all kind of interesting stuff in here, like the qualifications. You probably didn't know that to be a member of the House of Representatives, you have to be 25 years old. To be president, you have to be 35. Spending bills have to originate in the House of Representatives, although the Senate can make recommendations. We've sort of lost track of that in the Congress. And it's very important that the House of Representatives, as the body that represents the most diverse group of people, the constituents, there's more of them than there are in the Senate. They're the ones that are supposed to tell us where spending bills are, and that doesn't always work. I would encourage you to read the Constitution. It's not very long. We're going to talk some more about the other branches of government, but in simple terms, Article 1 describes how the Congress works. Article 2 talks about the president, and we can go over that too. And Article 3 is the federal courts and the U.S. Supreme Court. Like I said in the beginning, if we were talking about Schoolhouse Rocks, this would be very simple. There are 3 branches of government. Each one of them has a separate article in the Constitution that explains their duties, how they work. So Article 1 is Congress, Article 2 is the president, and Article 3 is the judicial system. So if you're ever stopped on the street, you'll know the answer to that question. So I hope you come back next week. If you're interested in getting a copy of the Constitution, I'm happy to get one and send it to you. But thanks for watching.